What's going on, everybody? This is Rick from Studio Spades, and today I'm going to show you the new updated version of Gobo Tool, which has had a lot of improvements, especially a way easier and more user-friendly user interface or menu to use the tool with. And it's available on SuperHive, formerly known as Blender Market. So let's dive into it. And here are some examples of lighting that you can do with Gobo Tool. And I'll show you how to make these in Blender. So I'm starting here with basically an empty scene. I have a cube here that is a volume, so we'll see the light scatter around in it nicely. You can copy these settings for the principled volume if you want, but it's pretty straightforward. I think I only lowered the density, that's it. And we have a floor and a Suzanne, which we are going to light with the new version of Gobo Tool. So let's drag it in. Alright, so when you drag it in, the light and a target at which the light points will be imported. I'm gonna put those both to selection to cursor with Shift S. And I'm gonna move the light up so you can see it follow the target here. And what should be immediately noticeable is that we have a very cool kaleidoscope type of light here. And when we press play, we can see it moving because Gobo Tool has procedurally animated lights, and we can control which of those lights are getting mixed in with this light layers menu here on the right. And we can see that Gabor and Kaleido have been slid up to 0.4 in this version 1.21. These are on by default, just to show you some of the capabilities of Gobo Tool. But for now, I'm gonna slide those off, so we'll have nothing, and we'll go through these one by one, and explain what everything does. So it's going to be a long video, sorry about that, but it's going to be a deep dive. So we can slide Voronoi up here, which is the first one, and we'll see. I'm going to pause the timeline here. When we slide it up, you can see the texture, Voronoi texture in this case, being shown. And once you get at a certain point, it changes from blue to reddish. Now, by default, the lights in Gobo Tool are being colored, and you can find the colors under color effects down here. So we have light layers, which mixes different kinds of noise textures together, and color effects adds color to those layers, and the recolor grayscale colorizes it with blue and red. So if you slide down colorizer 2, it basically becomes white light. So if you don't like those colors, just slide off the recolor here, and you can get a white light. You can change the colors. I will show that later on, but for now I'm going to keep it on because I do like colors in my light, and it would be nice to demonstrate everything to you. Okay, so you might think, okay, pretty cool, but the light looks pretty harsh. Don't forget that you can always change the radius here and soften those lights so you get a softer look. Maybe turn off the fog cube for now, and let's lower the radius again so we can see what the noises look like. But don't forget that you can always soften this quite harsh light here. Okay, so that's Voronoi. Now, every noise layer in here, or other forms of textures, all the textures that get mixed in here also have their own settings. So Voronoi can be unfolded here, since we're using the Voronoi one only, the first one. And when you unfold it, you can see a couple of things pop up here. And they start with underscore, so that is for you to easier see that these are inside another menu, or else everything will be aligned here on the same distance, and this little indent shows you that it's a child of a parent. So the Voronoi is the parent, these are child menus. You can fold those open as well. So basically all the noise or textures have a settings menu, which features, for example, in the Voronoi, a scale. So we can scale this noise up and down. Default is 20 in this case. You can increase or decrease the detail. The roughness as well, which kind of mixes in that detail. Linearity, which is, I think, like an additional noise on the noise. So you get 2 layers, which increases that complexity as well. Smoothness, which kind of smooths it out. Randomness, which makes it either random or more of a grid-like structure. Let's increase the randomness again, slide that up. And we have a phase multiplier. So the phase multiplier, and basically all the multipliers, we have a location and rotation multiplier here as well. The multipliers, that means it gets multiplied by the timeline. So if you press play, we can see that the phase multiplier makes the phase change over time. So if we multiply by 0, that means it'll stand still, because multiplying by 0 gets 0. But you can always manually change the seed here as well. But if you want to have it move over time, you can fill in a value in the phase multiplier here. Keep it low, because it'll go fast, really fast, even with small numbers. Okay, so those are the settings, and basically all these noises here have a settings, location, rotation, scale, and clamp menu, but not all. So it all kind of works the same in all these layers as well. So let's dive into location, rotation, and scale, and let's turn off the phase multiplier first, so that it'll stand still, so that it'll be more clear what is happening. So we have a location multiplier as well. That's kind of fast. Let's do 0, 1. By default, if you enable the location multiplier, the noise or this texture is traveling from up to down, so from the Z plus axis to the Z minus axis. And we can rotate that direction as well, which means it'll go in a different direction. If you put it in 90, it should go faster that way. Yeah, but we see less of that changing of the noise, because it's not really traveling down anymore. And if you do 45, it goes in a diagonally down and sideward angle, which kind of changes the phase of the noise as well. We can also use a shift location to shift the location of the noise. This is kind of like changing the seed, but you move the noise in these directions, and these directions are of course X, Y, and Z. Rotation axis means that if you put in a value in the rotation multiplier, it rotates around that axis, in this case the Z axis. You can fill in a 1, and it will travel and rotate in the x-axis that way. And we also have a scale setting here, so we can stretch or not these noises. And this one is the uniform scale, so everything will get bigger or smaller in a uniform way. And finally, in this child menu under Voronoi, we have a clamp as well, which allows you to make some tweaks to the noises. So you can invert the values, but you have to slide down the levels here a bit. This kind of inverts the values we just had. You can see, I am pretty sure that these holes should be in the same location. Remember these two combined holes and these one here. Now if we flip it, see we have these two here, and these holes here. So it'll invert the values, but since it's based on adding and subtracting noises, you'll have to slide the values a bit here to get back to the original value if you invert it. But you know, it's possible if you want to. You can always invert the colors of the noise as well, which should get you a similar result. But you do that in the colorizer. I'll show that later on. For now, I'm gonna uncheck invert and go back to this. So max is kind of the maximum level. Normally it should be 1, but since these sliders here they're quite sensitive in Blender, I divided all the maxes by 10, so the default is 10, but that's actually 1, if that makes sense. And it kind of makes the noises fold into themselves. You can see thin lines appear. Kind of a cool effect as well, especially when you slide up the radius again. And you get this, oh wait, so of course nothing is moving. Let's put on a phase multiplier again. We get some movement in there. Maybe turn down the radius so we can see what's happening. So yeah, you kind of make the maximum value fold into itself if you lower it in this case. So keep it at 10, that's the original noise. Feel free to change the maximum settings to get some crazy results. Brightness speaks for itself, I hope. You can make it darker or brighter, that specific layer. Pretty cool as well. Let's put it back to 0. And basically under clamp, everything is by default is 10, 0, 0, 0 here. Contrast creates more contrast in that layer, so you can really dial in your favorite setting and make the black parts blacker and the white parts whiter, and white is being recolored and black is also being recolored by the colorizer. So let's turn off the colorizer for now. And you see these holes in the noise start to appear. And blur is not perfect, but you can kind of blur some layers. It mixes in a noise. Let's turn back on the colorizer. It mixes in a noise, so you can see the red parts kind of smudge out here. And the maximum is not 1. You can always, fill in 20 if you want. Or let's see what 10 does. It's still too much. 5 maybe. Yeah, 3. See, it kind of smudges everything out, but that is not still perfect, but you can definitely tweak the noise with that as well. And like I said, these settings, location, rotation, scale, and clamp menus are basically under all light layers here. So let's fold in the Voronoi and go to noise. Slide up the noise. Press play. You can see the noise move. Maybe turn off the colorizer now. Maybe move the light a bit. Maybe soften it a little. You can get some really nice lighting really quick. You can combine layers, of course, so feel free to slide up multiple ones to get different results. Maybe have one move and another one stand still. It's all possible. You can really quickly dial in some crazy results here. I'm gonna reset the light to something straight above. Lower the radius again. turn on colorizer again. Okay, so noise. I'm quickly going through the noise settings here as well. But since everything is the same, I'm not going to do it for every layer here because you'll get bored quick. But scale, again, same thing. Detail adds more detail, smaller details. Roughness mixes in that detail. Pretty cool. Linearity, I think that's how you pronounce it. Creates even more detail and random effects on that noise. Offset. Makes it kind of fold into itself, as you can see. Gain adds more of that linearity into it. Distortion can get really crazy really fast. And the phase multiplier is here again. So if you don't want it to move, turn it to 0. You can always manually change the phase here as well if you don't like moving lights, which I can definitely understand. But yeah, a little movement makes it kind of make it quite realistic. A little movement, let's put it to 0.0. Maybe less of that roughness, maybe less of that distortion as well. Cool. Soften it a bit. Maybe a bit more. Pretty cool. Okay, so I hope that's kind of clear what those settings do. And the location, rotation, scale is the same. I already demonstrated that. You can scale everything up, make it move, rotate, whatever. Clamp, same thing. Invert it. Max makes it fold into itself. Let's put it to 0 so you get these thinner lines. Contrast, you get the gist of it, I think. So I'm not going to go through every layer like that. So Gabor, this is the Gabor texture that comes with Blender. Same thing. This is a more water wavy-like texture. Could be nice for some fake caustics, for example. And before I go further, I'm gonna, with the other noises, I'm gonna switch the colors here quickly to show that in between. So this is the setup basically, and it goes deeper in here. So 99.99% of the time, you only have to look at this menu right here. I'm going to pin it, the light menu, light object data properties, I guess. But some things I could not get in this menu right here. So for that, we'll have to take a look at this blue window right here. And you want to look here if you want to change some overall settings, but you're not going to be in here a lot. You don't have to learn anything about the shader nodes. 99% of the time, you're just going to be looking here in this this menu right here. But there are some exceptions. So you can click once to select and then press tab to edit and exit these nodes. So the colorizer 2 settings are here. Colorizer 2 is enabled, so click once on the colorizer and press tab. And then we have the color ramp, which colors the light in this case. So we have basically it recolors black to white. So we have a dark blue here, which is the black, as it were. And you can change the hue to something different. It's a little greenish. And the red is the white, which gets recolored. You can shift the hue here as well. You can also drag things if you want to a different color. And yeah, it basically enables you to fine-tune this to your liking. And if you only want one color, that's always possible, of course. If you don't like the transition from one color to another. So you can yeah, recolor it in any way you want. Maybe give it some ocean colors and you'll get some nice fake caustics, like in underwater scene. Let's turn on the fog cube for now. Cool. Maybe not green, maybe a little bit bluish as well. Pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, I always get distracted because I really like playing with this tool. So tab exits this menu as well. And you can change some of the noises here as well in the light layers. So under Voronoi, the first layer, let's slide it back up. Let's turn off. No, let's keep on the fog cube. It looks cool. Under Voronoi type, you can press it once, tab. You can even switch the type of Voronoi you want to use. You don't have to connect anything, you don't have to disconnect anything, don't touch it, just make sure you switch here and it'll change everything for you. So you can get some different Voronoi noises. Cool. Looks like I forgot to connect this one. I will do that in the future, but for now, this should be more than enough of variety, especially when you combine the different layers. Okay, so I recolored it. Let's continue with the types of textures or light layers. We have a wave layer, which makes these kind of waves move to a side. This has unique settings, though. You can change the wave shape from a triangle to a saw, for example. You can mix between those. You can change the detail scale as well. So if you put it to 0, you get some straight bands. But you can switch it up, make it a bit more random. Create some crazy stuff that way. Pretty cool. We have a rings layer, which creates these rings that move inward. Let's go to the settings for that one. And if we put in -1, it'll go outward. If you prefer that. Or you can slow it even down more. Pretty cool. Add more rings by increasing the scale. Distortion can be put to 0. Lots of possibilities there. And let's turn on magic. Magic is the default magic texture that comes with Blender. It doesn't have a lot of options, so therefore the settings don't have a lot of options. But, you know, it's there, and it could be a nice effect if you're going for it. You can always change the magic type here as well. By default, it's set to 3. Oh, maybe I need to turn off the distortion. Oh, I guess not. By adding these levels, it kind of switches it up. But yeah, it's not the most versatile texture that comes with Blender, but it's there, and it can be an addition to the many layers. So you can blend these any way you want. Pretty cool. Now, this is probably my favorite one. This is Kaleido. This is the one that was enabled from the start. And this is a kaleidoscope. And this is by far, as of making this video, the most complex layer. It has quite a lot of settings. You can see more menus here than in the other ones. I'll dive into that. But for this one, I want to change the colorizer again. So I'm clicking it once, pressing tab, and I'm gonna pick a color that's different than the blue. Wait, maybe I'm gonna do the blue. You know what? Let's do this. We'll do this. Let's turn off the fog cube for now, so we'll see a bit better. Because the Kaleido layer is really cool. Okay, so we have a face multiplier by default. We can of course set it to 0, change the face manually that way. And basically it's two noises that get repeated in a couple of zones, basically like a kaleidoscope. So yeah, hence the name. Oh, let's put it to 0.01. And yeah, so like I said, it's two noises that get repeated, and we can change that mirroring as well. So right now it's being mirrored 8 times. If you slide this to 0, it should be mirrored 4 times. Yeah, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 distinct zones here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you enable mirror 2, it mixes in another duplication. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, double the craziness. And you can rotate some of these duplications in here as well. So if you tweak mirroring, you'll rotate it, but not all of them, because then the whole thing would rotate. That wouldn't make sense. You can do that as well, but that's not part of this setting right here. So if you do 45, you can get some nice effects. 90 should be, oh no, wait, maybe it's 180? Yeah, if you put it to 180, it kind of reverses back to its origin. See? And you can rotate another one as well. So you can create a asymmetrical kaleidoscope this way by rotating these mirrors. But it's two noises that get repeated or mirrored. So we have a default noise and a Voronoi noise, which gets mixed in a bit here. You can see the Voronoi mix. So if you slide down the Voronoi for now, we only have the noise that's being repeated here. So the normal noise, this one, creates a more, I would say, organic look, more rounded shapes. And it works the same as this noise right here. It's just the noise texture. Let's turn up the scale a bit. Not sure where roughness isn't working right now. But yeah, like I said, it creates a bit more organic shapes. Add some gain into it. Pretty cool. And distortion, yeah, distorts everything. But if we mix in the Voronoi, you get more, I would say, angular and square shapes into that as well. And if you mix it all the way up, it's only the Voronoi noise at 1, if you set it to 1. So that way you bypass the normal noise. It's kind of disabled this way. But if you put it to 0.5, it mixes those two, the organic noise and the more angular digital square shapes of the Voronoi here. Same thing goes here as well. You can change the scale, detail, roughness, all that kind of stuff. You can create some really crazy shapes this way. Maybe even keyframe the colors if you want. You can do that, right? Yeah, you can insert keyframe in the colorizer, so you can change the colors over time. Maybe change the position here, so it'll switch that up as well. You can do some crazy stuff with this. So this is definitely my favorite layer. All right, and again, we also have a location rotation scale, so we can put in a rotation multiplier, for example, and make it rotate over time as well. Pretty cool. Maybe change the scale. Nice. Yeah, you can get some crazy stuff fast. Maybe put on a bit more radius. Make it a bit more realistic. Looks like this Suzanne is in a very cool nightclub. All right, so that's the Kaleido layer. Definitely my favorite. And we also have a grid layer, which creates a simple grid. You can mix it with the Kaleido, of course, or not. You can create some crazy stuff with this as well. And let's unfold grid, settings, scale, mortar size. This is based on the bricks texture. Comes with Blender. You can create some cool stuff with this as well. So right now, Gobo Tool is only supported in cycles, by the way. So I don't have Eevee support yet. I hope to fix that in the future. But for now, you are forced to use cycles. But it's going to look best in cycles anyway, so. Mortar smooth can be done as well. Bias, which yeah, changes those squares to either the black color or the white color, which gets colorized, of course, so it's pink or yellowish right now. And brick width and height. Create some crazy looks with that as well. Pretty cool. So that's grid. We have textures, which is kind of boring. Doesn't do a lot other than this, because it's based on the checkers texture that comes with Blender, and it doesn't do more than this. But you know, it's a possibility should you want to. We can also, of course, clamp these, although I don't think this specific texture does a lot. And we can load in a image texture as well. So let's turn it up. And for this, we also have to go to the image texture loader in here, in the node setup. Press it once, press tab, and you can load any image you want in here. So let's do this animation I made in the 4K animated Grayscale texture loops pack, which is also available on SuperHive. And this is a very high quality video of a smoke sim, which you can load into the image texture one. Now these 4K animated Grayscale texture loops, this is a 2K variant, which is smaller, of course, easier to handle. These are animated by default, and they are animated loops. So when I press play, it'll automatically press play. automatically loop. And these textures are 300 frames, so I filled in 300. Yeah, you can get some cool effects that way as well. Nice. So that's the image texture. And we also have a main light, which is just a normal one. If you need a normal light and don't like the noises, or want to mix in a normal spotlight with all these noise or image texture layers here, these light layers. So yeah, it could be a nice addition for those that need it. And by default, it's a spotlight. In most cases, you'll don't need to switch things up anyway, because if you want a square lamp, we can also do that, and I'll show you that later on. So you get a more area light vibe with the spotlight. And we can do that in the light masks. So Gobo Tool also comes with masks, and the light layers, which I just demonstrated, add light layers. Then that light gets colorized, and after that, light masks subtract from that light. So we have a gradient, for example, which adds two half gradients, and then makes it rotate here as well. Let me just remove this image texture, which is quite heavy. So gradient, it mixes in two half gradients. Again, we have a location, rotation, scale here. And rotation is on by default. Let's turn it off for now. We can mix between those two half gradients. And we can also, for example, increase the contrast, which, since they are gradients and you increase the contrast, it'll make the darker parts disappear first and the lighter parts later on. So yeah, can be a nice effect. You can split your spotlight in two halves. Put on the rotation multiplier again. You can have these rotate over time. Could be nice if you want this. So that's what gradient does. Flashlight makes a flashlight mask subtract from the lamp. So let's turn down the radius, and we get this flashlight style mask on top of it. Pretty cool, especially if we maybe change the color to something a bit more flashlighty, maybe a more warmer tone. Or maybe cool. Maybe also turn down the amount of color a bit. Color effects, colors 2. Slide it down a bit. Radius. Cool. Let's go back to the masks. And let's turn down this one. Oh, sorry, that's gradient, flashlight, settings. And we have a scale in here, so let's reset the position. And scale kind of, yeah, scales it up or down. We get these copies. Could be a nice effect if you're going for it, but keep it at 10 for the default. Location, rotation, scale, already explained that. Brightness, increase the brightness or darkness of the mask, which has this filtering effect of that mask as well. Darker parts get removed first, the lighter parts stay longer. So you can tweak that flashlight mask. Same goes for contrast. And blur kind of blurs it out. So that's flashlight. Now here's softbox. This is what I was talking about. You can get a square-ish light from the spotlight as well. Softbox adds in a bit of a softbox shape. You can tweak that as well, of course. You can also make it an octagon shape. But for that we'll need to increase the contrast a bit. Oh, sorry. The brightness needs to be lowered, I guess, or no, increased. Sorry, a bit more brightness, so you can get sharper angles. Pretty cool. Maybe slide down octagon, so we get the square-ish shape. Inverted as well. Like I said, you need to tweak some of the settings, so you get this inverted shape. If you want. Nice. So that's way to get a more area light feel from the round spot, if you want that. Okay, so that's softbox, pretty cool. And again, you can also stack these masks as well. So we can do a flashlight softbox, for example, and put the gradient in there as well. So yeah, you can really customize everything. Maybe add a bit of noise, add a bit of foreknow. That's the beauty of Gobo Tool. You can easily mix things up, slide things up or down, create some crazy results, and make your own lighting setups. Color it or not. It's all up to you. So turn on the radius again. Go back to the masks. Flicker creates a flickering light. And this can also, of course, be tweaked. So you can clamp it. And if you increase the brightness, it should not go out. And if you decrease it, it'll be more darker often until it basically disappears. So you can tweak that timing a bit without really touching any timers. So pretty cool. Contrast creates more difference between white and black. So really versatile. Not sure if black. That works as well. Blur, nice. Okay, so that's flicker. Strobe kind of does the same thing, only rhythmically. So it will turn off and on and off and on and off and on. And same thing. Clamp. Increase the contrast, or maybe turn down the brightness. Creates a either smoother or more harsh strobe effect. And we can also, of course, increase the speed and make it smooth or more harsh. Pretty cool. So that's what strobe does. Mesh creates a mesh grid, as if it were a mesh that is in front of the lamp, like TL lighting. I'm not sure what fluorescent lighting. That's the name I was looking for. For example, you can change this mesh as well. Scale can be changed. Width, all that kind of stuff. Really cool. You can smooth it out or not. Create more lines. Really cool. Oh. And you can also move the line if you want. Create a bit of a blinds in front of a window situation here. Cool. So that is mesh. Let's turn off the radius again. Reset the position, select the cursor by pressing Shift S and dragging it up. And turn off the mesh. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, whoopsie daisy. Dirt. That creates dirt on the lens, or on the lamp, as it were. We have quite a lot of options here as well. There's a noise that gets mixed in, so we can change the noise settings, make it crisper or not, add distortion or not, change the phase. But this one is not animated by default because noise doesn't really move over time, of course. So this layer, even though it is a noise layer, does not move. Change the clamp, the brightness, invert it if you want. Pretty cool, and especially in combination with the flashlight, maybe less dirt, you can create some sort of convincing flashlights this way, as if there's dirt on the glass front of that flashlight. Really cool. Okay, and then we have fan, which creates this fan, which is animated. Let's reset the position again. And this could work nicely in combination with circle, which create a circle in the middle. And also these can be tweaked. So if we change the settings for fan, for example, let's turn off circle for now. So the blades, whoopsie, you can change the blades, which does make them thinner, but you can change the length, of course, if you want to. And by default, rotation is enabled. We can slow it down. We can change the direction, change the scale, which doesn't do a lot in this case, I guess. Well, that's weird. That's a weird effect. It's made because it's made with the gradient texture, so this is pretty cool actually, but probably not what you were expecting. But it's created by the gradient texture being duplicated a couple of times on this axis. Clamp, invert it. You can change the brightness, which, since it's a gradient, the dark parts will disappear. So it's kind of the same like lengthening the blades or not. Contrast, same thing, but it'll increase the whites as well. Blur mixes in that noise again. And circle, finally, let's put it back on. As it adds this circle, we can change the scale and increase the brightness so that the circle gets bigger or smaller. Contrast and blur. So that's basically it. Lots of layers, lots of options, lots of possibilities with the new Gobo tool. I'm just gonna quickly take a look. Oh, I forgot Colorizer 1. We can still discuss that one. Oh, and the mask color effects. Yeah, sorry. So Colorizer 1, slide up to 1. Turn off Colorizer 2, because Colorizer 2 overrides the first one. It gets applied after Colorizer 1, so always make sure that Colorizer 2 is turned off if you want to use Colorizer 1. Colorizer 1, it colorizes by distance, so you can see some bluish tints appear here since they are farther away, and this is a more pinkish reddish tint, so you can color things based on distance. Could be a nice effect as well. Maybe mix in some noise, maybe turn off the fan. See, so this is a bit more blue purplish. This is whiter, but also more pinkish. So that's by distance, and also this one can be changed, of course. Select it once, press tab, go into it, maybe flip it, or not, or tweak it this way, make it green, make the transition smoother. Really cool as well, and just a different way of coloring your lights. Maybe add a little magic, maybe add some rings. Cool. So that's Gobo Tool, I guess. We also have some master color effects as well. You can increase the gamma or decrease it, which makes it whiter. Contrast makes it harsher. Increase more blacks, increase more whites into it. Hue, saturation, and brightness can be mixed, so we can change the hue of the overall colors. Mix that in or not. So 0 is, in this case, Colorizer 1. And if you mix in the hue, saturation, brightness, it'll mix in the hue shift, which I just changed. We can increase the saturation a bit, increase the brightness or not. And that's basically it. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy Gobo Tool. I really like working with it. I'm gonna think of more layers to add, more masks to add. But yeah, this thing is already very powerful. Sometimes I trap myself on just tweaking lights for way too long than I should be. But yeah, it's just so much fun, especially the Kaleido layer, which is just nuts. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. So definitely tag me in your posts, in your lighting setups. Don't feel constricted by what you're seeing here. You can definitely use Gobo Tool in serious projects as well, even though this looks kind of crazy. I've already used it in quite a lot of product renderings for my clients as well. So if you're a 3D artist or motion designer that's only focused on client work, definitely get it as well. You can get some nice realistic lighting with this tool as well, especially when you increase the radius, blur things a bit, and yeah, tweak it until you are happy. But it's all possible with Gobo Tool. So get it now at Superhive, formerly known as Blender Market. Tag me in your post, please, and let me know what you think of it. This was Rick. I hope you learned something, and have a nice day. Take care.